Okay, moin Leute und damit herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Runde Genshin Impact. Wir sind gerade in einem Konflikt zwischen den Boomer-Kirchen, so wie ich es gerne nenne. Ergibt nämlich überraschend Sinn, das so zu nennen. Und es sieht nach Konflikt aus. Ja, crazy, ne? Wo ich es jetzt einmal gesagt habe, sah ich es gerade nochmal. Escovir und ihre ehemalige Mitarbeiterin, ihre ehemalige Schülerin, sind jetzt in einem Duell nebeneinander, gegeneinander, genau. Gegeneinander.
Well, I got a sense that she's holding something back. But we chefs always express ourselves in our cooking.
Boah, ich hätte jetzt mal richtig Bock auf so einen Schnitzel.
Holding back? Sure didn't sound that way to Paimon.
Escoffier only picked up on it because she's the same way. Always closed off.
That's patently false, at least where your macarons are concerned. I've been nothing but truthful with you about the disgraceful amount of sugar you use.
Okay. That's one case where you can keep your thoughts to yourself.
Arme Navia.
Oh, that? Well, it's not so much a recipe book as a diary of Modest's adventures. Back in the day, he and his good friend Citali explored far and wide, partly adventuring, partly looking for new ingredients and developing new recipes. Their creations had an enormous influence on the course of fontaine cuisine, turning it into a much more vibrant and diverse scene. For instance, legend has it that the original Gâteau de Bois was made using a special secret ingredient that Modeste discovered on one of his adventures. So rare was the ingredient that they could never make more than 16 slices of the cake per day. But everyone who tried it claimed that it was one of the most blissful and invigorating things they had ever tasted. Modeste and Citali went on to found the original Hôtel de Bois, which catapulted them to stardom in Fontaine's culinary world. Especially Modeste. He was hailed as a once-in-a-generation genius.
Ja, aber
And
lass
over
mich raten,
time,
das hat dem
the
anderen Dude nicht
recipes from his
gefallen.
adventure log became known as the code.
Paimon's heard this kind of story before. Armed with the Codex, the Hotel de Bois took its rightful place as the finest restaurant in the land.
What? No, of course not. Cooking is a constantly evolving art form. How can any Anyway, never mind centuries. Citali and Modeste parted ways not even 10 years after their rise, and that was it. The end of the Hôtel de Bois' heyday. It fell into decline, and for most of its history, it was just a nondescript place with a couple of cheap tables. It's only in even then, it still took numerous relocations and changes of management before we finally ended up with Vanigem and the...
Oh! So the Codex really isn't all that, then. Paimon figured it was like one of those mystical books they have in liyue's martial arts novel?
Yes, well, that's fiction, and this is reality. You can't meet the tastes of modern diners by following some ancient recipe.
Case in point. Even the Gâteau de Bois they sell
Also,
now is actually
Es
Escoffier's
gibt ja ab und zu
reimagination.
mal
Really?
so Kochkanäle auf Instagram, die zum Beispiel so römische Gerichte nachkochen. Oder ich habe auch mal, wo ich noch zur Schule gegangen bin, kurz bevor wir unser Abitur gemacht haben, hat unsere Lateinlehrerin, ich habe ja das große Latino gemacht, und da hat unsere Lateinlehrerin mit uns immer römische Gerichte nachgebacken. Das war immer witzig. Irgendwie vermisse ich das. Das war eine Ehrenfrau.
Well, it was maybe from her.
Da waren auch coole Sachen dabei teilweise. Die haben auch echt gut geschmeckt. Wobei man argumentieren kann, dass es ein bisschen hart teilweise war.
However much she's changed since we worked together, I believe that she still has her chef's pride.
Well, I'm confident that you and your spatula can get justice for Froment. All you need to do now is win the contest. But that should be a breeze for you.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Gâteau de Bois is very complicated to make. Usually, it takes 3 chefs working in tandem to cover everything. Now, if I had to push it, I could probably do the work of 3 chefs myself. But I'd prefer to play it safe if I can find a couple of assistants in time.
Well, that's easy. The 3 of us are veterans in the kitchen. You just need to pick 2 of us.
Well, I have heard the Traveler is an accomplished cook, as well as a warrior. But be
aber ich
warned,
glaube nicht so
I
hoch
will hold you
kochen.
to exceptionally high standards.
Oh, count me in too. I've spent weeks perfecting my macarons after your scathing review. Even if it means competing against the Traveler, so be it. I'll show you what I'm made of.
Confident. I like it. Alright, let's start with some elementary mise en place. Show me your knife skills.
Meine Knife Skills. Oh mein Gott, ich muss tatsächlich was tun. Proaktiv was arbeiten. Ilk.
I've always called it chopping stuff up, not mise en place. But it's basically the same thing, right?
Oh, Navia. The difference in your... looks like you found that easier than I expected.
Oh, wirklich mit dem
Yeah,
Standardangriff?
thankfully it was pretty straightforward in the end. You made it sound like we'd be carving statues out of fruits or something.
Well, brace yourself, because the next step is anything but straightforward.
Oh.
A kind of special food processor I got the Fontaine Research Institute to make for me. It uses cold temperature extraction to isolate the essence of cooking ingredients, which can then be used, but this isn't exactly standard kitchen equipment, so that probably didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Okay.
Custom-made equipment from the Fontaine Research Institute, huh? That's some pretty high-tech food prep. Paimon's never used anything this weird before. Cold!
Achso, müssen den... Warte.
The device isn't cold enough yet. I need to reduce the temperature.
Ah. So eine Geschichte ist das. Ein bisschen
And
komisch
done.
gewesen.
These are the flavor compounds
Wow! Even the smell is so much more concentrated. Oh,
Absolutely not! Throwing everything in at once will ruin the balance of flavors. We have to go slowly and carefully to I'll demonstrate again. Now.
So, also.
Slowly.
Dann würzen wir mal. Also hätte ich jetzt mal gezählt, dann hätte es auch so sein können.
And voila! Now it's your turn.
Also sie vertraut uns recht viel.
Work was surprisingly good. Are you sure you've never done this before? You got almost perfect results. That goes without saying. Still, credit where credit's due. Alright, now for the part I've been looking forward to. I want each of you to cook something from the Hotel du Bois' current menu. That's right, the truth.
Okay, bin ich jetzt mal gespannt.
How's it going? Have you picked...
Also ich habe jetzt irgendwie nicht so viel zur Auswahl. Warte, können wir wirklich was kochen? Aber ich weiß ja gar nicht, was da drauf, was da auf der Dings drauf ist. Dann lass auch einfach mal gucken, ob ich hier diese Macarons nochmal irgendwie kochen kann. Oh, ich sehe sie irgendwie nicht. Hier ist Pizza. Ich schwöre, ne? Habe ich das Rezept dafür nicht? Wahrscheinlich. Aber wahrscheinlich ist es das.
How's it going?
Komm, dann hier, zack. Nimm das, einfach das hier. Auch wenn ich es nicht gekocht habe. Oder mich zumindest nicht erinnere, dass ich es gekocht habe.
With the
pretty good, right? Not to brag or anything.
6 points.
Von wie viel?
6 out of 100.
Oh.
You say you're a connoisseur, but it's quite clear from this dish that you have far more By that logic, I suppose you think listening to Lady Furina on repeat every day would make you an opera.
Aww.
Damn.
Me next. I'll have you know that this batch of macarons has
So you went from 12 tablespoons to 10? Well, it's nice to know you actually measured it out. Because it tastes like you just threw in whatever was left in the jar.
Aww.
Now,
Was überzuckert die auch ihre Macarons?
So,
This is our last
8 points.
Damn.
darn. That's
Not exactly. The color is spot on. Beautiful aroma. Excellent presentation. I have to give this one 8 points out of 10.
Yeah. Warum changed sie ihre Bewertungssystem?
Don't get me wrong. There's room for improvement. But still, this is clearly the work of an accomplished chef. I can tell that you've put many hours of work into honing your skills in the kitchen. I can really taste the grace of the snow-winged goose in this dish.
Geht so.
You made that last part up. No way did you.
Well, it looks like I lost fair and square.
But if it takes 3 chefs, that still leaves 1 slot remaining.
Chef Escoffier,
Oh, it's Hilaire. What brings you here?
I heard the news about the cooking contest. You're doing gâteau de bois, right?
And you think you're up to the task, do you?
Oh, no,
Was
I know
gâteau de
I'm
bois?
not there yet. It's actually my dad who wanted to help.
Kann der das?
Firma, last I heard, you could barely get out of bed.
Chef Escoffier, Navia, Traveler, thank you all so much for everything you're doing for me and I've had enough of sitting around at home while you run yourselves ragged. If you let me, I'd like to help you win this cooking contest.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Don't you worry. I'll be fine. I'm feeling much better now. I'm sorry. The fact is, I'm a fine chef, despite recent events. I've proven my...
Firma, have you even set foot in a kitchen since leaving Hotel de Bois?
I have not. But I'm fully rested now. I know I can handle it. Huh? That's strange. Why are my hands shaking?
What do you call this, Firma?
I can't seem to grip
Das
my...
Messer weggeworfen.
Again!
I...
Hopeless. Get out of my kitchen yesterday.
Dad, what's wrong?
I don't understand. I was feeling so much better, and then Will I never be able to work in a kitchen again?
Dad, talk to me. What happened?
I think the real issue here is not physical exhaustion, but psychological trauma.
Monica, when did you get here?
Besserer
Probably
Assassin
because
als
you
ein
were all
Koch.
concentrating so. But anyway, Firma, I'm so sorry. If only I'd known how serious your situation was, I would have stood up for you sooner.
Einfach
You have nothing to
traumatisiert.
apologize for, Monica. During those long nights of redoing every order, you were the only person who looked out for me.
Oh, come on. All I did was make you some tea. I doubt it was much help.
Ich sag's euch so, wie es ist. Ich habe irgendwie Ich finde irgendwie alle...
She's been getting
Finde
harsher
beide
and
irgendwie so ein
harsher on
bisschen
us ever since she
unsympathisch.
heard about Escoffier's new role in the Fleuve Cendre. Seems like no matter what we make, she'll find...
What is this? It looks like a dog's been at it.
Then she orders us to redo the dish again and again, but we never know what's going to make her happy.
Do it again, do it again, do it again!
Every time you remake it, you just get an...
Either straighten yourself out, or get out of my kitchen!
So now, it seems like just picking up a kitchen utensil gives me flashbacks of her yelling at me.
Oh man, that must be awful.
The more I want to get it perfect, the more my hands shake, and the more scared I am of making another mistake.
How can you give up so easily, Fiamma? You weren't a quitter when, and even under Savannah, you talk about working late into the night trying to perfect your dishes. That says to me that you still hadn't lost that determination to prove yourself.
I don't know what's come over me. When I think back, I just remember feeling like my heart
Ich glaube, in
and my hands
solcher
were
Situationen
growing
ist es
heavier.
tatsächlich am besten, den
Maybe
Arbeitgeber zu
Savannah was
wechseln.
right. Maybe I am just hopeless at this.
Dad.
I see. Well, it sounds like there are some deep... I will win this contest, and after that, I encourage you to approach...
But what if you can't find another assistant in time? Clearly, I'm in...
You think being one person short will ruin my chances? Let's not forget, even if I had to go it alone, I would present the perfect gâteau.
Oh, well, Paimon and Nadia will still...
And so will I.
Warum hat das Kind eigentlich so eine männliche Stimme?
Yeah! And if worse comes to worse, we can always get the Spina di Rosula to put out an emergency call for chefs. There's gotta be some...
Actually, I thought maybe I could help...
What? Why didn't you say so?
I was going to, but then... Well, this
Ja, was
is
sagt
the
das
first
über,
chance
was
I
sagt
got.
das über
You do this for us?
Alright,
Savannah aus,
fine by me.
wenn,
But aren't you still working for Savannah?
I know, but it's all right. I've made up my mind. With the way things are, I can't keep working for Savannah much longer anyway.
yeah.
I'm done with sucking it up. It's time to try and turn things around. If this cooking contest can get Savannah to see the error of her ways, then
Tja.
I'm sure she'll forgive me. Well,
Am Ende,
great. Then
wenn du
it's
dich so
settled.
unsympathisch
And to
machst, ne?
congratulate you all on making the team.
Spina sponsored? Wait, you mean I'm cooking?
Well, I promised the traveler a feast in the Fleuve Cendre. And I know how much you've been looking forward.
Also Paimon auf jeden Fall.
Feast, feast!
Also Paimon auf jeden Fall, auf jeden Fall.
All right, if you insist, then prepare for some of the finest food.
Na super.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
Aber es sieht ja eher so aus, als wäre ich gerade eher die Servicekraft.
Paimon never knew Fontainian cuisine could be this good.
Ja, sieht nach Escovir. Aber ich würde sagen, wir schauen nach Escovir in der nächsten Episode. Ich bedanke mich wie immer fürs Zusehen. Bis dann. Ciao, ciao.